All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Chairman Powell.
Present.
Legislator Quackenbush.
Present.
Legislator Diamond.
Present.
Legislator Whites.
Present.
Legislator Beniak.
Here.
Legislator Duchessis.
Here.
Legislator Wheeler. Here. Legislator Isabel.
Here.
Legislator Patel.
Here.
All right, if we'll stand for the pledge to the flag. Tom, if you'll lead us.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we'll stay standing for a moment of silence. At this point, I'll open it up to public comment. If anybody came for the budget hearing, that was at 6:30 and nobody was there, so you'll also have opportunity now to speak, as well as anybody else wishing to talk on anything.
Hi, Mark Huffman, Town of Mohawk. I'm also the chairman of the Town of Mohawk Planning Board. I'm here to speak about Resolution 170 tonight, the resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a unanimous revenue sharing agreement with Fulton County. I personally am supportive of this. We've seen, we've talked a lot about regionalization lately. County executives talked about it. We have a lot of initiatives going forward, and being a resident of the town of Mohawk for over 20 years now, and the lack of progress done at the county level with Fulton County, especially with the city of Johnstown as far as this land goes, I think it's imperative that we move forward and have something where, at least on a county level, we don't lose out on tax revenue for the future. We've talked about it a lot on our planning board. We've discussed different things, and since I've gotten on the planning board the last 2 years, I want to look at the future in the town of Mohawk when it comes to growth. It's pretty much been the status quo since I've lived here, and I think this is a good opportunity for the town and the county to get involved with something that might bring in some tax revenue to the area. It's something that you hear constantly people talk about the lack of jobs in this area, and here's an opportunity where we have a shovel-ready site that we can bring something at some level and get some jobs here. You know, it's a shame that we can't change the past, but this is maybe something we've done in the past in this county. Maybe it wouldn't be in Fulton County, less than, not even a mile over the border, but I think it's time to act on it and move forward. And I'm for supporting this. I hope the legislature looks at this with a clear mind and realizes that we have to move forward to regionalization. It's a word that some people don't like. I know our township is discussed a lot, but I think it's time that we get this agreement and move forward, and hopefully for the best. And just to bring up one other thing, I had received an email from our town supervisor today with partial corridor here between the village line and the Fulton County line, and not all of it is business zoned, and we are going to be working about through the planning board about extending the business zone for the full length from the village line to the county line. So to me, that shows that we're looking to improve the town and bring in business, and I think this is just another thing where I think the county has to go ahead and work with this agreement. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Keith Shue, live in Cherry Valley. Also a volunteer with a couple of organizations, SEGA 2000 and Mohawk Valley Keeper. I had the opportunity to address you last month, and I wanted to thank you for giving me that opportunity. And since that time, I can tell you that some interesting things have happened. We have some more support within towns that have adopted resolutions, including most recently Sharon Springs, the village of Sharon Springs, relating to the Brooklyn Corners compressor station, and basically calling upon Dominion to make improvements so that the people who live nearby would be spared from the harmful emissions that we're concerned about. So again, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to address you last month, and I'm hopeful that this county, this board, will also adopt a resolution sometime in the near future on that subject. Thank you.
Anybody else? No? All right. Thank you again. Moving along, communication.
I gave everyone a packet from the NISAC conference that has the resolutions that were passed by NISAC for 2015. I would encourage you to look at them to see if there's anything that you may be interested in passing on our level.
Thank you. There aren't any minutes to approve at this month, so I'll look for a motion to accept the budgetary transfers. Barb, Tom, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Next, I'll look for acceptance of the procurement record. Barb, Tom, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Nothing under old business. Next is, in new business, is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign annexation revenue sharing agreement sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. I believe this takes a 2/3 vote.
Yep. And then there's also an updated annexation agreement. If you wanted to replace the draft agreement in this resolution, we would need an amendment to put the most current version up.
I move to make an amendment to replace the annexation sharing agreement that's attached currently with the one that's on our desks.
You'll second it? Tom seconds. Discussion?
Could we get a highlight of what the changes are?
The major thing, as was brought up in discussion during committee, was discussion about the term. And if you look on page 7, section 5.1. The term was blank during committee and what's been filled in. To 40 years with the option to keep it going.
But at the end of 40, what happens?
It says under 5.1, the term of this agreement shall be 40 years after this agreement is executed by both parties. At the end of the 40-year term, the parties shall have the option to renegotiate the terms of this agreement. If the parties fail to renegotiate the terms, the original terms will remain in full force and effect unless both parties mutually agree in writing to make any revisions.
Perfect. Any other discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Discussion on the resolution as amended. Hearing none, all those in, roll call, please.
Legislator Whites,
Yes.
Legislator Beniak,
Yes.
Legislator Duchessis,
Yes.
Legislator Wheeler,
Yes.
Legislator Isabel,
Yes.
Legislator Patel,
Yes.
Chairman Kelly,
Yes.
Legislator Quackenbush,
Aye.
Legislator Diamond.
Aye.
Pass.
Next is a resolution amending the 2015 operating budget, equipment repair, sponsored by Wheeler and Patel. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution amending the 2015 operating budget insurance recovery fund, sponsored by Quackenbush and Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution amending the 2015 operating budget donations for Youth Day 2015, sponsored by Wheeler and Pertel. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution approving abstract of audit claims, sponsored by Kelly and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a release and satisfaction agreement. Pertel and Duchessis. Discussion. Do we need another? No. Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution adopting a revised workplace violence prevention policy, sponsored by Wheeler and Whites. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution hiring a temporary full-time account clerk typist, sponsored by Wheeler and Beniak. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution authorizing agreement with historical research consultant, sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution to amend the 2015 operating budget Preserve New York grant, sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution amending the 2015 operating budget 2015 Student Union Improvements Project, sponsored by Whites and Diamond.
Yes, thank you, Chair. It was brought to my attention last week, so after this went out of committee, but before tonight, that there's a potential conflict of interest. So I am withdrawing my name as a sponsor for that reason alone, and I'll be recusing myself from discussion and voting on it.
I'll pick up the sponsorship.
Okay, so sponsored by Quackenbush and Diamond. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained?
Abstain.
Is there any other business to come before? Okay, I have,
New business?
yes.
I did have one thing. Next month, I wanted to bring forth a resolution where the Amish would be required to have some sort of containment so that the solid waste stays with the buggy and not on the road. And I can give you a couple examples of why I wanted to bring it forward. One of the big tourist things for this, one of the tourist things for this area is they had like 100 and some bicycles come from Buffalo through, and one of the stayovers, Kanjahari. And just before all the bikes got there, you know, the Amish left a nice welcome for all the bikers to ride through. And the other thing I heard, in St. Johnsville, a guy on a motorcycle stopped at a red light, put his foot down, ended up sliding on that and fell over. It took like 2 or 3 guys to get his bike back up.
Should have
So
lost his
the reason I'm
license.
bringing it forward is that I'm looking for, I had emailed, I think, it was Village of Rome, or City of Rome, and there was another municipality that had a resolution, so I was hoping to get that. I haven't received it yet, but I was hoping to call on Megan and Cheryl if we could find one that's already written, that I would like to, you know, present that to the committee at our next meeting.
What committee do you want it on, education government?
Yes.
Piggybacking on what Roy just said, I don't think it's a bad idea to research this out, but as you're doing your research, could you find out of those communities that have addressed this, how they're enforcing it?
Yeah.
It just, you know, I mean, I don't mind putting something on if we can legitimately enforce it. I know Nelliston was talking about it a few years ago, but scrapped it. They don't have a police force or
Glenn's in the same
Glenn is the
position.
same way. I mean,
They've looked at it for years and reached out to a lot of people.
I'm not against doing something,
but
I just want to do something
It's a
that's,
difficult topic.
you know, maybe we can figure out how that would be tackled, or how they're doing it, maybe we can research that.
Any other business? Okay. I attended the Farmland Protection meeting a few weeks ago, and they passed a resolution and asked me to bring it up to, I have one more.
Here, you can borrow mine if you want to read it.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Can you pass them back if you got an extra?
Did you- All right. Basically, a group of concerned people came and discussed the effects of the proposed connector and what it'll do to agriculture in the route that is proposed. And so the Farmland Protection Board met, passed a resolution, and they would like to know if there's anything that we can do to help. So, told them food for thought, bring it up.
I'd just share one comment. A couple weeks ago, there was an article in the Gazette. The reporter that was at the public hearing on the bypass and had covered a couple other items on the county recently, had reached out to the state DOT in regards to what happens if, moving forward, Montgomery County does not join with Fulton County in going after funding for this. And the Region 2 spokesman was very straightforward and blunt in his response of, if Montgomery County does not join with Fulton County, DOT will not entertain the thought of funding the program or funding the project. So I think that's something that is important to note, that moving forward, our lack of action, if you will actually, if that stands true, that DOT would not appropriate funding, if the local municipality, the local county did not support and go after the funding, the lack of action would in fact cause the project to stall and not move forward.
The group asked if they could come in and present to us. And I said, we discuss it tonight and moving forward, decide what the best course of action was.
Well, I think, Chair, I think everyone pretty much, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think the consensus is everyone is against this, and Matt and Legislative White had specifically indicated that. So, I'm not sure.
Well,
Do you want a resolution?
Well, I think what they're looking for, they know how we said we feel on the matter, but they haven't seen any action. And I think that's what's making them a little worried. They're used to New York politics and say one thing and do another. So I think that's some concern, and it's their livelihood at stake. Putting a connector like that in, it divides a farm. You can't run a tractor across a truck route.
Certainly.
So, and also recently, the school has voted against it, as we read in the paper. So.
I wouldn't mind putting on next month's agenda as a resolution. I would fully support it, if that's what the other legislators wish.
If we're against it, sounds like everybody is. I don't need anybody to come and give me a presentation on being against it.
Mm-hmm.
We already know what our minds are. I don't have a problem with the resolution. I just don't want to waste anybody's time here or people that would come to present. It's not necessary. I agree with Terry. That's the avenue we want to take, and it's just
what committee would you want that one to be in? Education, government as well?
Of course.
Would you entertain it?
Yeah, I would entertain it.
Okay. All right. The other thing that I have, it's not really business, you know, we're getting close to the holidays, and I, you know, think it's important that we give back to the community. And I was wondering if my colleagues would, and anybody who'd like to join in, you know, bring in a non-perishable item to give to the food bank as we're coming close to Thanksgiving. It's time of year where, you know, a lot of people forget about those who are less fortunate. And I just think it would be nice for us to give back.
Sounds good.
I
Sure.
can set up a basket.
Who do we give it to, Cheryl?
Yeah, bring it in and we can put it in the office in here. And if anybody else from the county would like to, or public, you know. So. Nothing else? Anybody else? Good. No? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You got it.
Second.
Roy. Very good.